So this morning we're going to demonstrate the cold start capabilities of this 41 Buick Super. I've got this infrared thermometer and I'm going to demonstrate to you that she's totally cold. So I'm going to aim right at the exhaust manifold and you can see it's registering 56, 57 degrees, and that's the ambient temperature in La Mesa today. So she's totally cold. And let's go over the starting procedure of these old timers. I suppose some folks don't know, but the starter switch is under the gas pedal. So essentially you floor it to crank the engine over. So we're in neutral now, and I will typically give it a few pumps, old school, to prime the carburetors. Don't do that if you've already turned the key on, because it's going to try to crank prematurely. It won't crank when you floor the gas if the key is off. And right here is where the shop has added the switch for the auxiliary fuel pump. And that's only needed if the car sits for several weeks and the gas drains back out of the carbs into the tank. And this brings it up to the factory pump. We don't need this today, but I may just demonstrate how it works. It makes a little ticking noise. So basically, key on, and then you may or may not hear this noise. Don't tell anybody, but it's a domestic car with sounds like a British fuel pump. So that's secret. Don't tell the Buick. So key is on, and depressing the gas pedal previously should have set the chokes. And now, you're just going to depress the gas pedal, and then once it fires, you let off. That's it. That's how she starts, and you can see no drama, no smoke. She will make some condensation in a few minutes because it's a cool morning. She's also going to make a little black smoke because we're under choke situation right now. And I'm going to rev her up so we don't over choke. If anything, she chokes a little bit on the strong side, but I'd rather have more choke than not enough when you want to start her on a cold morning. Of course, this is San Diego, it's 57 degrees. This car might go to North Dakota for all I know, and you need lots of choke to start it on a sub-zero day. I'm gonna switch her off now because I usually start her and just drive off, and the choke will naturally go off. It's an automatic choke, so you set it with the gas pedal, and then as the temperature comes up, the chokes will go off automatically. And we had that system all addressed, basically. So that's our cold start. So let's do a little walk around of this 1941 Buick Super. Back in this era, you'll see lots and lots of chrome. Some people say acres of chrome that you don't see anymore for various reasons. And this car is essentially original. You know, I have not redone any of the chrome. You might see some little scuffing on the bumpers. They're original. This headlight surround is very, very nice. And you see the detail of these three stripes with black. It's very Art Deco. And you've got the Buick shield here. Lots of attention to detail when in these cars. These light up, by the way. The side spears are very nice. I wonder if we should go over how the hood opens now. It might be a good idea. So you see Super there. They proudly declare that. It means this car has compound carburation. 2 carbs, dual carbs on a straight 8 engine. And so don't hurt your fingers when you open this because it's kind of snappy. I'm going to get over this way. The cameraman's going to come around. So I hold it firmly like that. And then there's a secondary catch here, which will allow it to open up. And it's a ingenious design. You can open it from either side. It's hinged on either side. And if I snap this down, we could go over there and open up that side. From this side, you have access to the dual carburetors, the air cleaner, the horn, exhaust manifold, intake manifold. Voltage regulator is over here. This is your voltage regulator. This is the new speedometer cable that we installed. It goes down to the transmission. Got your radiator up here. Easy fill right there. There's no expansion tank. That's where you fill it. Old school fan belt. I'm sorry, fan and fan belt. And this is the prop rod. It just allows you to hold it up like that. Now, before I put in the auxiliary electric fuel pump, if she sat for 3 weeks, the gasoline would drain back out of the carbs, just a natural phenomenon. I'd have to come in here, take the air cleaner off, squirt some gasoline in there to prime the system to get it to fire. Because with the factory mechanical diaphragm pump, I believe it is, they don't suck air well. So we got to get gas up first. And once the engine starts, with the speed of the engine, it pulls the fuel fine. But having to spend 5 or 8 minutes doing this each time I'd want to go for a drive after sitting for a couple weeks, it got a little tiring. So I had the team over at the shop, Motoring Investments, install the pusher pump, I like to call it. It's an electric fuel pump out back to bring the gas up. Again, you don't have to do that if you drive the car every couple days. So let's put this down. It likes to go down with a little authority, and then you know it's down because this will close and it's locked into place. You've got your only exterior mirror. There's one. It's the driver's side. The antenna, interestingly, is right here, and you'd rotate that up if you actually want to use the antenna. And I've never used it. We might look into that a little later. Someone asked me if the radio worked. I actually don't remember. I probably tried the radio when I got the car. I like to listen to the engine. And if I have the windows down, going slow, listen to the birds and the comments from passersby, which is a lot of the fun. Let's do this we'll go around first. Has old school lock knobs. Push down on this to open. You've got individually opening wing windows, and you crank them. You unlock them. They have a lock. Unlock it, and then you crank them. There's a video of that when I demonstrated the right front the other day. Big back seat, plenty of room for the kids and grandkids. Gas filler door right here. It's got little bumpers. The little buffers are brand new. I ordered them at the Buick supply house. This appears to be original welting that goes between the panels. Again, Art Deco looking tail lights. Buick 8, proudly declared with the Buick shield again. There's a light for the license plate here. And this trunk is all original. And the broadcloth, as you can see, has got a heavy patina, but it is absolutely original. There's a box of goodies here, which is all manuals, etc. I'm going to come around the cameraman, and just to show the spare tire, this, I've got pictures of this somewhere. Maybe I'll post them later. This one's a Continental 6.0 by 16. I don't know who the original equipment manufacturer of tires was for the new Buicks. It might have been Continental, because this tire looks ancient. It could be 70 plus years old, and it still holds air. This is what holds the trunk lid up. You just go back up, and then it automatically comes off. I leave this spare key in here because one little glitch, probably a locksmith needs to adjust this key. It's hard to get in the first time and work it, so I just leave it in. I don't put anything valuable in the trunk anyway. And one key does everything, so I have two keys. One that I just leave in the trunk, and the other one for the door and the ignition. Again, very Art Deco. Let's give a shot of this. And I'm so proud of the dome lights, but this one is asking, I think, for me to tap it. Well, it's not behaving. On camera, it's not behaving. May have to look into that, but the dome lights do work. You can see this lovely dash. Let's go around to the other side now. So this is what is essentially an all original Buick. Aren't those dashes a work of art? Now we're going to do a paint meter test to see how thick the paint is. This is a test that people use as a tool basically in their arsenal when they're trying to determine if a car is original paint or mostly original paint, because a thickness value will help give you an idea. Now on a car that's almost 80 years old, we wouldn't expect it to be all original paint. But when you can find a car that has some original paint and a lot of original features, the more the better, and that's really a treasure. A lot of people have been out to shows and looking at cars, and people will tell me, oh, it's my grandpa's car, it's all original paint. And then some guy will come with a paint meter and say, no, it's not. It's got 11 mils of paint, it's definitely a repaint. Or some people would look for masking lines or overspray in door jams. But again, if it's your driver and you enjoy it, no problem with that. But if someone's representing a car to be all original and you're paying for all original, you might use one of these tools to determine that. Now, I don't know on this Buick. Again, I'd be surprised if it was all original paint. I would expect readings in the 10 or 11 or 12 mils range. But let's see what we've got on the hood now, and you can zoom in, and this is in mils, so 2.5 mils. Now that's unbelievably thin, and that's a good thing. I mean, that is like brand new Mercedes thickness paint. Cars were painted by robots. So I don't know what's going on here, if maybe this is original paint, and the years of polishing and waxing, the paint's got thinner. Because I don't know that Buicks had paint this thin back in the day. I would have, Mercedes from 30 years ago have about 6.5 mils original paint. Let's just go back here. Maybe that was an aberration. 2.0, wow. I mean, that's fantastic. Let's check this fender. 2.0, well, we've got a lot of consistency. 2.5. Let's move on to the door. Let's see what we've got up here in the sunlight. Is that 1.5? My gosh. Let's just check down here. I think it says 1.0. Can't hardly see it upside down. And back here, 1.5. My gosh. Let's check the roof. 1.0. Wow. 1.5. 2.0. Let's go back here. 2.5. All right, middle of the trunk lid. Let's see what we got. 1.5. Well, she's consistent, and I would say that's consistent with original paint. I can't guarantee this car is original paint. I haven't owned it for 70 years. But I also haven't seen any obvious signs of repaint in the door jambs or anything. 1.0. 1.5. 2.0. Oh my gosh. Let's try this fender. 2.5. 2.5. Wow. Amazingly consistent, and what I would guess would be factory thickness of the paint, for whatever that's worth. Okay.